my name is Francis McWIlliams. I'm a partner at West Mermis here in Houston, Texas. We are a construction law firm, and I am here today to answer some common questions with regards to closing construction projects. So for the first question of what is the process of closing a construction project, the first thing that happens is substantial completion. You see actually in residential, big residential projects, big condo projects, substantial completion will be when a certain number of units are able to be rented, and the owner can actually pay to complete their construction through the rent that the owner is receiving from the project, from the apartments that are being rented. But substantial completion would be essentially the project is in a place where you are getting the benefit of what it was intended for. You're able to put people in the units, businesses in the units. It's essentially very close to the finish line, though not right at the finish line. The next thing you've got to look at are punch list items. These are little items that are still need to be addressed, still need to be done. Maybe some paint needs to be put on, some more minor details. But usually, especially in large construction projects, there are a number of punch list items, just these very little details that need to be done. Next, you'd have final inspection. That is exactly what it sounds like. Parties are able to go through and make sure that everything has been complete, that there are no remaining punch list items, or substantial completion is come and gone. Another thing that would need to be addressed at this time would be resolution of change orders, if there are any outstanding change orders that are going on. But hopefully with final inspection, you don't have that sort of thing to worry about, but there could be lingering issues. And finally, payment and handover of the property. This is where you see sometimes litigation erupting during the handover phase. Now, it's important to outline a process for all of this in advance, especially with a construction law attorney. Closeout can be a complicated process. There are lots of steps, and it's a good idea to have a good construction law firm on your side to help bird dog all of these elements so that the contractor or the owner isn't behind the eight ball here, and mistakes happen when you don't plan things out in advance. So it's very recommended to get a good construction law firm, especially on large construction projects, but really on any construction project that's of a decent magnitude. You really want to get a construction lawyer to get in and lay out the steps for this process that can be complex. The roles involved in closing out a project. Well, really, it's everybody involved in closing out the project. So you've got the GC, the general contractor. You've got the owner. You may have the architect may be involved. Subs and vendors may be involved, depending on how much, depending on the status of the punch list items. It really runs the gamut of the construction process. It's kind of a condensed version of the entire construction project, the closeout portion. That's where everything is kind of coming together, particularly when you're getting into the punch list items and you're trying to make sure that everything gets done before the handover takes place. Now, one issue we need to talk about is, well, what can go wrong? Do you really need a construction firm to navigate the closeout process or help you navigate the closeout process? Well, yes, you could suffer a lot in terms of lost resources. Closeout, that's where you see a lot of delay claims. And that leads to a lot of times a construction defect is first becomes noticed. People become aware, the owner becomes aware of construction defects around this time quite often when they're trying to get to substantial completion, or they're trying to get people or businesses into the building. And that's when the problems, they see them, they've materialized. Payment disputes, often, they take place throughout the construction project process, but during closeout, you typically see payment disputes arise, I think, more frequently than in some of the earlier stages of the project. So what can go wrong? A lot. And it's very important that you are prepared, have good counsel on hand that can help you navigate these issues. Speaking of what a good attorney can do for these sometimes complex issues with closing out a construction project, the question might come up, well, where does the lawyer even come in? And what can they help accomplish in this? Well, they can help navigate legal complexities, resolve potential disputes, ensure contract compliance, and protect against liabilities arising from all sorts of issues: payment disagreements, construction defects, construction delay claims, mechanics liens, or a payment bond or performance bond claim if it's a public project. All of these things might occur, especially when it's a big project, when there's a lot at stake. There's a lot of money at stake. A good construction lawyer is pivotal to address all of those. Finally, I wanted to leave with the message that a closeout is the most important part of a construction project because it's what people remember, right? A construction project can take years, and if the closeout is done poorly, that's what people are going to remember. They're not going to remember how smoothly everything went before the closeout. It's the chance to build and maintain relationships. Good people are hard to find. Good people to work with, good subcontractors, good vendors. It's important to get the closeout right so that it runs smoothly, so that you can maintain the relationships that you want to maintain. And it just makes it easier for everyone when the closeout goes more smoothly. So make it easy on yourself. Hire a good construction lawyer, and they will be able to walk you through not just the construction process generally, but the closeout portion of the construction process.